Hi, I am going to attempt to read on the Winchester Mystery House located in San Jose, California. Now, I'm not going to go into a long description about it. A lot of people do know about it, and if you don't, I will be including links, of course, for you to look at and check out and become more aware about the I can't talk the Winchester Mystery House. It's got a very interesting history. Basically, I'll give you, of course, a basic background, and that is that this house was built based upon the fact that Sarah Winchester, who married into the Winchester family, the people that came up with the rifle and guns and all that, and I think she was a bit fragile mentally to begin with, and then unfortunately and sadly she did lose the only child that she gave birth to, and her husband, and I think it was just too much for her. And she became obsessed with having seances, and she went to go see this reader that was an absolute, I don't know, sounds like a total fraud to me, but they told her that she had to basically keep building in order to make those who had been killed basically by the Winchester rifles, to try and keep herself safe and to appease them. I think is pretty much the way it goes. But you can read the exact stuff in the description box links, so I will give you that. I think you have the idea. She was unfortunately unstable and ended up having numerous seances in the house that I'm sure just totally opened up that building. And plus, with it being her obsession to have them, it's just compounded, I think, a very intense psychic energy there. But let's take a look with the cards. So her name again was Sarah Lockwood Pardee, Pardee, Winchester, and she was the widow of, I'm on the Winchester Mystery House website, and I will give you a little briefing from there. So she was the widow of William Wirt Winchester, an heiress to a large portion of the Winchester repeating arms fortune. Tragedy befell Sarah. Her infant daughter died of a childhood illness, and a few years later her husband was taken from her by tuberculosis. And after her husband's death, she moved out west. She bought an 8-room farmhouse and began what only could be described as the world's longest home renovation. Oh my God, I'm stuck here. And we can finally get people in again at some point here. Just gotta get the money up. Anyway, so like the world's largest home renovation, she only stopped when she died on September 5th, 1922. And here are the facts, okay? From 1886 to 1922, construction seemingly never ceased as the original 8-room farmhouse grew into the world's most unusual and sprawling mansion. It's 24,000 square feet. It has 10,000 windows, 2,000 doors, 160 rooms, 52 skylights, 42 stairways and fireplaces, 17 chimneys, 13 bathrooms, 6 kitchens, and built at a price tag of $5 million in 1923, or $71 million today. So she, just taking a look at some of these pictures, it's really incredible. I'm seeing which one some of these that I'm gonna say. So she was ahead of her time. She was said to be a very independent woman. She was courageous and driven. She was, I think, also very eccentric and no doubt traumatized by the deaths of her husband and child. I think definitely made it more difficult for her. But she really was ahead of her time. She did all of this, took it on her own, so pretty crazy. And I will include the link, of course, so that you can check out their tours. And if you're ever around there and you want to buy tickets, you can do that. So, anyhow, let's see what the cards are going to say. So we're going to take a look at the energy of the Winchester house and what's there, either as residual or intelligent, whatever. Let's just see what we get. I'm using the Crazy Cat Tarot. Okay, we're getting the card of Temperance. So let's just see. Crossed by the Five of Swords. Well, the cards are indicating there needs to be a bit of a balance there, because there is an energy that's challenging there with this Five of Swords, which tends to be a bully. It tends to be aggressive, is what the cards are saying. And Temperance is saying that it is an energy that needs to be balanced there. I'm sure that, you know, she opened all that, I can't even imagine. Yeah, okay. And this is based on death. This is based on the energy of death. Okay. Crowned by the 9. It is, okay. And there's there, I think this is her husband, I believe, who's showing up in the reading. His energy is there, and I think quite possibly it could also indicate someone else. But I believe his energy was really strong. I think he stayed there. I think that there's also an energy and I don't know whether it was her husband or some other husband, father energy that got drawn in, because, to that land. I feel like there's, for one thing, aside from the cards, I'm just getting hit really hard that there's people that have worked there, that there's people that spent their life and times working there, and I just think there's a heavy residual of their imprints is what I'm getting there. Because these people, that's where they spent their whole lives working on her house, which kind of blows me away now that I think about it. Yeah, there's some challenging energy coming through here. It's showing right now as present energetically there. And it shows that there's, with the Five of Pentacles and the 2 5s here of Swords, this is definitely an aggressive energy, and it could become actually physically aggressive. I think like poltergeist type of energy. And I think it has to do with Sarah herself and her own frustrated empathic skills, and her having these, seances and constant reaching out, constantly trying to pull spirit into that place is what I get. It's kind of just crazy. And there's a male energy here that's aggressive. He is not well, or wasn't well in life. I don't know if her husband was this way, because it sure feels like this is who we're talking about. It would be her husband, but it looks like he may have been a bit of a pushy kind of man. If he wasn't that way, then it's somebody maybe connected that worked on the place. But this feels like, this feels like very much like the man of the house. And it honestly feels like I feel like she may have also drawn some of those victims in herself. She was told about them, but I think she may have actually tried to, I'm just getting a sense at a seance, she was actually seeking, I don't know, to communicate, or there was opening a way that the dead, very clearly, who I believe because she believed it, I feel like it drew it in. Those that were, I feel like, found themselves killed as a result. There's something there to that, and the husband's there, his energy, it's connected to him. It needed to be balanced, I'm shown. I think her husband, and this is his poor health probably with tuberculosis, but I'm getting the energy of her husband. Yeah, and he was very well off. He would have been very independently to do. But it's his death. I think he really resisted it. He wanted to get well. I'm starting to pick him up better now. And I think that this frustration, because his energy was challenged with his health, I think it frustrated him greatly. And he was not ready to pass when he did. So I think that frustration of his resides yet in that home. And it has an intensity to it. With these 2 5s, it's very challenging. And, as we know, he probably passed in that house. No, he passed and she moved out, right? West. But it's like she's keeping him with her. Okay, here's his death, but coming, and then he's there. So it's like her husband was there. His energy is present. And I don't know that he ever lived in that house. From what I understood, I thought that her daughter passed, and then not too long after, her husband, and then she left and moved west and built this place. So this is her, though. This is the hermit. She was a recluse. I can kind of get, she's not coming up real close to me. She's wanting to kind of hold back. I get the strongest sense of this male energy there. And his frustration at not being physically well and not being mentally fit, because he was, I think, also just because of his illness when you're that sick. But there's a frustration, I think, with thinking and trying to concentrate was a real challenge. I feel like this energy may also be felt or picked up. Now, I know minimal about this place. My mom actually went there. I've never been there. It's obviously in the wheelchair. It would not be a great choice. But here I'm getting him and his energy first, and here I'm getting her almost in the periphery, but definitely present. So the energies foremost that I'm picking up on, interestingly enough, are her husband, actually, and I don't know if she brought something of his with her as like a memento mori, but I feel like there was something, a part of his funeral, I don't know, something, lock of hair, it could have been anything like that. But there was some part of him, I feel like, that she brought with her to that place. Because I feel that I'm being shown on the wheel here that he passed, and yet somehow his energy is connected and kind of plugged in, if you will, to that palace, just palace, mansion, even though he never lived there. So it's in essence that she's more or less brought his energy with her somehow. I think that she was haunted. I think she was had some poltergeist also activity, for sure, in that place. And I've always picked this up about her, is that she had really strong skills herself, and her having the obsession that she had became really unhealthy. And I think it created a lot of chaotic energy and strange energy like you would get with a poltergeist at the Winchester house. Honest to goodness, that's really what I'm getting. And it's weird to see it in the cards. Okay. In the environment is the Ace of Wands. There's a lot of energy that runs through that place. And this is fresh. There's something about it that, and it could be because of the way that it was constantly tended to for all those years, that it's just really kind of tightly wound like a clock, if you will, in the atmosphere of the place. To me, it's just so energetic, like a spring that you just wound and wound with all that work on it, that energy still feels so fresh. I get that too, that there's a lot of it is energetic. I feel residual. There might be some intelligent haunt there, but I'm just getting a lot of it as residual that she brought in with her, and through her own intensity and focus. And definitely by opening up with the seances that she routinely had. Sorry. Hopes and fears. Well, this is the Queen of Pentacles. I feel like this is her. And I feel like she just wanted basic comfort. Not just basic comfort, but comfort and well-being. And especially health. I think she was quite possibly like hypochondriac. Okay. I'll have to look up and see when her birthday was. I'm surprised I didn't write that down. I looked at other stuff. The energy there too, as I said, is a bit chaotic. And it shows with the Nine of Wands that it can be draining. And so I would caution really empathetic people, if they're going there, that they could end up feeling drained, really drained. I'm also getting a feeling like this might be a place where you could pick up a lot of a draining attachment energy. So it's like not necessarily an intelligent energy, but an energy that I feel like that attaches and drains. Maybe to fuel that house's, ooh, that's creepy. It's fresh energy, right? I feel like I'm being told that it has a draining effect on people, and that the house, its environment, gets charged up by that, is dependent upon the people that come in and circulate and go through. Wow, okay, I'm getting not unlike what, although different, what Sarah Winchester was doing when she would have people come in for her seances. It was, again, creating a way to bring energy in so that they could, with their intention, have these meetings. And I think she got a lot of screwy energy in as a result because it's so challenging here. I think there's a great deal of frustration and anxiety and her looking at the guns as being a form of bullying and hardship and causing that in society and people's lives and livelihoods. This too is what also feels like to me. This is her whole angst with that, showing up with these 2 5s. It still leads to a very draining energy that is territorial. I think she's there too, because I feel like she is very, there's still a very territorial link. But surely by just the intensity of her focus on the place. Now, I'm not being shown her being there as trapped or anything like that. In fact, the energy feels like it circulates. But I do feel that I'm just getting her coming back and spending time in certain rooms that were the rooms where she liked to study and read, and I feel like focus on the spiritual, esoteric information. And I know she had a room where she did her seances and stuff. So I feel like she goes back to these places. There's the King of Wands. And the Queen of Swords. I'm getting also, now I'm picking up on that these were people that took care of the groundskeepers, and I'm getting like maids and people that made their lifetime also not just building on the place, but of course working on the farm. They're helping her to maintain her life. I'm getting these are people, like a male and a female here. And I feel like these two are connected to working on the property. I feel that some of these people, that there were some that never married as well, that worked and just made it their life. And so their energy is very connected. Four of Pentacles. Now then it's speaking to the public. The cards are speaking to the public. And we're getting the reverse Page of Wands. People bringing in some unstable energy themselves. Maybe also wanting to provoke. I'm getting wanting to provoke something to happen so they can be entertained. People, this is also very much an energy that's holding, clinging. Oh, I thought that was the Four of Wands. So, no, this is speaking about it. Yeah, there is a residual energy that is hostile, that is disruptive, that stays, that's still there. And it's I think a lot of the angst and the unpleasant feelings that she felt with concern to the money, it had blood on it, and how she felt about that. It was very, very strong. Four of Swords. Now, I really hope that she's at peace finally, because I feel like she felt frantic. Her energy feels frantic. Like the first thing that she would think about that day was what she had to build and what she was told to do. And I think she was getting what I'm picking up, and I don't know, I've not read this anywhere, so I don't know, but I think that she got the directions to build as she did in the house through the seances that she would hold. I feel like she would be given instruction through the seances she held, at least some of the time, to come up with her obsession in building. So that is what I'm picking up. And I'm going to go ahead and close this out with these last two cards, Ten of Pentacles and the Sun. There's a number of people there. There's a number of people there. And I feel the place gets really charged up by the people that spent so much time there in the past and worked on the place, and by the people that, the energy of those that constantly come and visit is just kind of positively and really strongly charged the place up with the Sun. The Ten of Pentacles is a greater community. It's like you got to realize, I'm getting, that she had a number of people that were on that property like a friggin' team every day. You know, teams of tradespeople and people that were helping to run that gigantic house and clean it. So it was a buzz with energy. And I feel that here with this Ten of Pentacles. It was a place of resource and activity and people and work. And I feel like some are content to come back and forth to visit the place. I do not think that there's any spirit that's necessarily trapped. I do get energy that feels like it is her anxiety that is trapped, and trapped in the form of a bit of a poltergeist type. But like as anything that was born a human being, and no, other than her husband's energy she did bring there. Again, I don't feel like he is stuck there, but I feel like his energy would come through there while she was alive there, because I think he stayed fairly close. And I think that she brought him through a lot through her seances is what I'm picking up. That's wild. No idea. Yeah. There was just too, it was just too, the area is just saturated with that energy and activity of the working and building constantly, the flux of people in and out, the activities then she was doing with, and her energy herself was very strong as a psychic medium, I believe. That just didn't have complete control and understanding of her enough of herself. So there's a great deal of energy that's there, and I think I would caution people, make sure that you kind of seal your energy before you go in and clear it, make sure that nothing's on you as you go out, because I do. I think it could latch onto people, some of that chaotic stuff. Four of Cups. And the Devil. And the Devil is coming up reversed. So I don't think that there's anything necessarily terribly evil. I think malicious, maybe a tad in some areas, but not like demonic. I get that it is just misdirected, and it is residual emotional stuff with that Four of Cups left there by routine and the daily focus of this woman and that of her staff. And so I'll leave you with that. And if you enjoyed this content, please do make sure that you are subscribed. Hit the like button, please, and check your notification bell. All right? Thanks so much. I'll see you in the next video.